Hello, welcome to the show. So, somebody asked me, one of the subbies, shout out to you, they wanted my thoughts on Jim Cornette. And when I saw it, they had put eyes emoji, and and I bust out laughing because I'm like, oh my god, you want me to give my opinion on Jim Cornette? Okay, I'm gonna give my opinion on Jim Cornette. So here's the thing. I understand he ran Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I'm not that fucking old. Jim Cornette was never on my radar. I never paid attention to him when he was in WWE. Whoop de whoop de whoop. Sometimes I'm looking at him. He has them pedophile glasses, and I'm just like, it's something about him. Just ugh. He's very outspoken. He's really vulgar and disgusting. He gives off that I can say what I want. I'm a man, and just But he is my guilty pleasure of podcasting. Yeah, I do ease my ass over there and listen to Jim Cornette. I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I go over there, I pull up Jim Cornette, and I want to see what he's gonna say. Because sometimes he says some shit that's funny, and I'm like, oh my god. Sometimes he says some stuff that makes me, think like, okay, I can see where he's coming from. And then there are more times than not where it gets too much. Like his last podcast, when he was talking about Britt Baker and her issue backstage. Although his sentiment is kind of like what I said when I was talking about Britt Baker, like, you're not that girl, MJF is the guy right now, you need to chill. He was like, her dick suckers and flappy pussy, like, it was just like a lot. A lot of times, before people say something negative about somebody, they have to sing their praises. I'm not about to sing his praises. I understand he is a legend in wrestling and all of that, and that's great. But some of Jim Cornette's behavior is egregious. Now, there is a legendary feud going on with him and Vince Russo. Now, he literally wants to kill Vince Russo. And Vince Russo seems very concerned about this. So if I could like make this podcast, if I had to sit and listen to Vince Russo and Jim Cornette, and those were the only two people available in the entire wrestling community, Jim Cornette hands down. I'm very aware of Jim Cornette's racism, and Jim Cornette does not, if he did apologize, I can't tell. Most of the time he comes off as like, I said it, I don't give a fuck, and double down. To be that guy, like, I'm gonna be as disrespectful as possible because motherfuckers like it. And he has his built-in audience. Like, Jim Cornette's YouTube is 432,000 subscribers. He has his built-in audience. Now, his videos don't like reflect that much views. I would like those views, but anyway, he has his built-in audience. But Jim Cornette's not above reproach. His racism is disgusting. His sexism is outrageous. And that's why I say he is more of a guilty pleasure than if somebody said, well, what podcast do you listen to? And they name, like, I don't know, let's say they rattle off some people. If they never mention Jim Cornette, I wouldn't be like, I listen to Jim Cornette. Like, that's not something you say out loud. I wouldn't say that out loud. I know there was a issue with a thumbnail that came out. Now, I was going to do a podcast on it, and I don't think I did it. Whoever does Jim Cornette's thumbnails, they put Swerve Strickland and then a Q-tip and a gorilla. So, because he said something like Swerve was like a gorilla strength type dude. Some bullshit he was saying. It wasn't so much what he was talking about was racist. It was the thumbnail. And it just, listen, this is America. We're not going to sit here and be like, what are you talking about? You look at the thumbnail, the shit's racist. The shit's still up. Like, it wasn't adjusted. And it's just like, okay, well, it just is what it is. Now, the gorilla thing happened before with LeBron James and Giselle Bundchen. And it literally was King Kong and the white woman. He took out the Empire State Building from the 30s. Too many missteps when it comes to that. And there's like no follow-up. Does his commentary bring anything good to the world of wrestling? No, I don't. But what I do think it does, it props up a lot of incels. It props up, like, you know, all these loud, weird, run of the mill, really, like, fit the profile type podcasters that a lot of us try to avoid, which is the whole reason why I made mine, because I never heard my voice or saw my voice or seen people be more diplomatic and open and understanding of what other people got going on, and try to be under, try to make a place where I try to see both sides. Now, I don't play devil's advocate for races. They already, you don't need to play both sides for some racism and sexism and all that other shit. He opens the door to the, oh, well, both sides are good. And it's just not something that I think is necessary in wrestling. I think it causes a lot of undue stress and tribalism. That's what I think about Jim Cornette. I don't think too much of him, to be honest. Like I said, if I listen to him, it has to be something to catch me. I never get through any of his stuff. I will tell you that. Sometimes I say to myself, doing a podcast, you gotta really have something about you that someone is willing to sit at least 10 to 15 minutes and listen to you talk, let alone 2 minutes. If I can get somebody to listen to me talk 4 minutes, that's fantastic. I've talked to people for hours. I'm a clinical therapist. I mean, I got the gift of gab. You just gotta give me a good topic. When I'm done talking, I don't talk. I cannot get through Jim Cornette's podcast more than maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes tops, and it's very specific. Or I will click to wherever. When you put the mouse over the bar on the YouTube, it'll say the most played, and usually I'll click that, and it's him saying some wild, disrespectfully nasty ass shit every time. I just think it as someone who does, I'll say this and I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't want this to go too long. I do cognitive therapy all fucking day, so I'm very thoughtful about what I say and how I want to say things to make sure that you, the audience, understand what I'm saying and you're not confused. Like, I have no problem restating a point so you understand the point, and I can even make the picture extremely vivid. So with that being said, when someone says something and they make it a point to say something to elicit a response, that tells me that they are cognitively aware that what they're saying is going to be either received well or bad. Okay? If I say I can't stand Cody Rhodes and his fat fucking tongue, I'm clear on that, right? Now, if I say something inflammatory about his ethnicity, or, he Cuban, he must have came on like some racist shit like that, I know what I'm saying and doing, and I want to listen to response from you. So when we go back to the reason why he got removed from NWA, the comment that is two guys in the ring who have absolutely nothing to do with black people, and you make a comment like that, you can't. I'm not about to. No one will sit and go side to side with me and say, "Oh, it was a joke." No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. He said, Trevor Murdoch and Nick Aldis was wrestling. He said Trevor Murdoch is the only man he knows that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. A lot of things took place in that sentence. And because that sentence was strung the way it was strung, tells me that this is the type of shit that Jim Cornette does with his friends, his family, and people that knows him. And he thought because he was in this particular atmosphere that's traditionally white male based, not that diverse, that he could get that type of shit off. That tells me that he gets that shit off a lot. And because of that, I avoid Jim Cornette at all costs. Guilty pleasure for 8 minutes, if that. Guilty pleasure for a fast replay. But for the most part, I don't think Jim Cornette, I think his time has come and gone. I think Jim Cornette is good for a documentary like The Dark Side of Wrestling or Who Killed WCW. Somebody should do a documentary on Jim Cornette and why he wears them damn pedophile glasses. Because I'm not understanding that. That's them same glasses all them pedophiles wear in the 70s. He does not bring anything new to the realm. He doesn't bring new ideas. He's stuck in the past. He still talk. He's not open for wrestlers who are shorter than 6'7". He reminds me a lot of Vince. I wouldn't be shocked if Jim Cornette was an old freak. The way he talked, I wouldn't be shocked if Jim Cornette ain't turned on by them wrestlers. He don't see nothing them wrestlers can do for him. I think the industry has moved on from him, and just like all the other old heads like Vince Russo and what's that loudmouth one, Eric Bischoff, and Medusa and all them old heads, and I'm gonna run them motherfuckers down every chance I get. The Undertaker, in my day, we used to wrestle hard and drink 32 beers. It's a damn shame what happened to, the Taskmaster. Yeah, you look what you're saying. Now all the wrestlers are pussies because they want to play video games and have motherfucking families. That's what these people talk. That's what Jim Cornette be saying on his show. Literally. You can't do 32 shows? What's wrong with you? You dick-sucking homosexual? Like, what? What are you talking about? So to wrap this all up, how can I wrap it up like a bow? I think what this person said, I'm going to read what this person said, and I think this will wrap up pretty much Jim Cornette and where I'm at with him and my views. Okay? Y'all give a guy who isn't on TV every week so much airtime and signal boosting that it's as if you are all benefiting from his act just as much as he is. Oh, Cornette says something so crass and reprehensible. Let everyone on Reddit know about it so it can get even more traction. Plus, I can get some good karma for dunking on the guy. The current platforms for niche audience. The guy currently platforms for a niche audience. That's it. The only people regularly paying attention to what he says on a consistent basis are those who look to either prove him right or prove him wrong. Everyone else just lets him exist much in the same way that any other person doing exists. He's not running for president or any elected office to dictate or semblance of policy that will have an effect on the lives of people. So I don't actually give a shit about what he says. If he says something I agree with, then damn it, that's crusty old fucker got that right. If he says something that I don't like or agree with, then I realize it ain't for me. It's called critical thinking. I don't think he's good for wrestling, and I don't think he's bad. He has his opinion and matter of wrestling, that's that. Same with Meltzer. Same with Keller. Same with the Bucks and Omega. Same with the Miz. Same with Triple H. Same with anybody and everybody here, really. You either agree with their viewpoint or philosophy or you don't. To question someone who isn't on TV and isn't in a campaign and to be on TV is good or bad for an industry that doesn't care about what he says is a waste of your time. I agree with that. But for the sake of someone wanting to know my thoughts, this is my thoughts. He's just an old man on the lawn saying, "Hey, bitch, get that big wiggly fat ass out of the way before I put my fingers in it and spin you around like a top in the middle of a synagogue with locks and dreidels." That's the type of shit he'll say. And you can expect that from Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette's gonna be Jim Cornette. And with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think. And I'll catch you on the next one.